Hello, Chicago Network is on the air. Hello, everybody. I am Ryan Yanishadis, and it is time to focus. And today, we're focusing on both the Blackhawks and the Bulls. We got so much going on this week, recapping the winter break, almost 3 weeks long. So we're going to do both of these in one. Obviously, both teams are dreadful, so we're just going to kind of go with the flow. First, let's talk about the Chicago Blackhawks. First, going back to December the 14th, they lose to the Devils of a final of 4-1. 15th, they lose to they defeat the Islanders. They actually go on a win streak, which is something that you don't see very much in for the Blackhawks, but they win over the Islanders 5-3. On the 17th, they defeat the Capitals of a final of 3-2. And the 19th, over the Kraken 3-1. Then they get back to their Blackhawk ways. On the 21st, lose to the Flames 6-4. The Wild, they lose to 4-3 on the 23rd. The 28th, the Sabres defeat the Blackhawks 6-2. And then on the 29th, they lose to the Stars 5-1. And then we get to New Year's Eve. We'll get to that, the spectacle in a second. But they lose to the Blues 6-2 in the Winter Classic at Wrigley. The third, they lose they actually get a win over the Montreal Canadiens 4-2. And then on the 5th, the Rangers take care of the Blackhawks, which was on Sunday, 6-2. So, it is what it is for the Blackhawks. It's been a very rough season. You were hoping to see progression, and you really haven't seen it at times. You saw that 3-game win streak. You're like, okay, maybe this will be a positive thing we could talk about when we come back from the break. But unfortunately, it really hasn't. They continue to play ugly hockey, and they're just not in games. So that was a nice 3-game winning streak. I think that's probably the longest winning streak of the year and probably the longest one we're going to see. For the Winter Classic aspect of it, I think they set it up very nice. They made Wrigley look beautiful, as every sport does when they get a chance to go there and highlight one of the most classic stadiums in baseball. It is the Federal Landmark. So I think they did a good job there, bringing in the Blackhawks old school guys, and I think that was great with Chris Chelios, and you saw Dennis Savard. So it was nice to see all that stuff, and they did a very good job. Unfortunately, the game wasn't very fun after that, as they were in it. They were down 2-0, then 2-1, then 6-2 the final. So NHL did a great job. Blackhawks didn't hold up their end of the bargain. So a bad break there for the Hawks, and they continue to have one of the worst records in the NHL, which isn't something you want. And we thought this would be, we've seen this the last couple of years, and you thought maybe the first year of Connor Bedard would be something different, but no, they still have the worst record in the Central. They're 13 as following Sunday's game, 13-25-2, and in the wild card altogether for their ever chance of sniffing the playoffs, they're in last place, 28 points total, and the team to get in has 44. So that just tells you they're 4 points behind San Jose to even get to the 9th spot. So just weather the storm, and hopefully we start to see more progression from Caleb Bedard, and hopefully Connor Bedard, excuse me, not Caleb Bedard, Connor Bedard. I'm mixing up the rookies in Chicago, but we'll see what happens there with the Blackhawks. But a tough stretch, but again, I was impressed by the Winter Classic. Now let's shift from the Blackhawks to let's shift to the Chicago Bulls. All right, now time to focus on the Chicago Bulls over their weekend stretch, holiday stretch. Let's start here all the way back to December the 13th. They defeat the Hornets of a final of 119-95. Then on the 16th, they take care of the Raptors, 122-121, and a nice win there. Then they defeat the NBA champions after losing the game. Remember, they needed to win it to get into the NBA the tournament. The NBA Cup, they lost that when they do defeat them on the 19th, 117-108. Then they lose to Boston. Boston played like the Celtics. They win 123-98 over the Bulls at the home and home. Then the Bucks defeat the Bulls 112-91 on the 23rd. 26th, the Bulls lose the Bulls were up, I think, big over Atlanta, but then a 50 spot in the fourth quarter behind Trae Young. And the Bulls lose to the Hawks on the 26th. That's usually a guarantee win because the Bulls, see, that seems to be the only team they cannot beat, or they can beat, is the Hawks. Then they do get a win over the Bucks. Giannis didn't play, but it was in Milwaukee. They played well. They're able to hold him down late in that game, so great job. But the Bulls are going to win over the Bucks. They win in overtime over the Hornets on the 30th, 115-108. On the first New Year's Day, they do lose a game that I think you would want to win. The Washington's not a good team. I think that's their sixth win of the season. They get their sixth win against the Bulls, 125-107, and then the Bulls defeat the Knicks, 139-126. And what was a great first half by Jalen Brunson, but the second half taken over by the Bulls by Zach LaVine and Kobe White. Now, overall, this Bulls team, it is what it is. And I mean, they're another team. Let's just talk about, I mean, right now, if the playoffs started today, they would be in. As of currently their standings, they are in the, let's see, they are in the 10 spot as of Monday, 16-19. They are a game back of Detroit. They're a game ahead of Philadelphia. Then the 4 seed, who is Orlando, they're only 4 games from the 4 seed. So, I mean, and they're 2 games behind of not having to play in the play-in. So it's just different. I believe the Bulls have one of the easiest schedules remaining. So, I mean, this is something we could look into. Maybe have some excitement because, I mean, with football being over for the most, I mean, Chicago football, maybe this can be some exciting things we could see as the Bulls take advantage of some of these games, keep winning games, solidify themselves, and get out of the play-in. I said it early on in the year that they were going to not play in the play-in. Well, let's hope that there's still a case of that as they're just a big win streak or a big losing streak from being going up or down in the playoffs. Also, great job by the Derrick Rose night on last Saturday. Being able to see him and being able to see Joakim Noah and Neil Funk. Just a lot of the, I mean, I didn't get to live in the Michael Jordan era. Derrick Rose, I thought, I mean, obviously it's the what was. He made a lot of great moments. The teams that the farthest I've seen a Chicago Bulls team go, and that was the Eastern Conference Finals. Every year when it ran into the wall of LeBron James, always hoped that team would have came to Chicago. And according to some stories, if Pat Riley didn't open his big mouth, they all would have came to Chicago. But great job there. And I thought they were retiring his number, but it was 1-4-25. I didn't realize 1 for Chicago, 4 for the Knicks, who they were playing that night, and then 25 for Simeon High School, who he actually played like a game there this past last week. So, I mean, it was awesome. And then they're going to retire his number next year, and that'll be up there with the greats of obviously Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. So that is awesome to hear that they're going to retire the number 1 Derrick Rose and just everything else. So thank you very much to the Bulls for allowing, because the Bulls don't allow us to have much happiness with their old players, and to be able to see them honor Derrick Rose, and it's going to be up at the rafters at the UC. Awesome. So overall, Bulls, I think, have a brighter future for the rest of this 2025. Blackhawks, let's just hopefully see that they can survive. So that's the Bulls and Blackhawks. Tomorrow on the show, it is Friday. We're going to preview the playoffs. The NFL playoffs are this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I'm going to tell you who's making it to the Super Bowl. Comment below. What do you think about the Bulls and Blackhawks? Are you optimistic? Are you even paying attention to the season? Also, don't forget to like this video. And don't forget to subscribe to the Hello Chicago Network YouTube channel every Monday through Friday, 3:12 Central. We bring you, we focus on Chicago sports or the playoffs or whatever it is. So I know sometimes it's not exactly Chicago sports, but we get there eventually. So everyone have a great rest of your night. I'm Ryan Yadashadas from the Hello Chicago Network. We're the focus of Chicago sports.